Batman and Spider-Man. You can never have too much Spider-Man and Batman in your box. Never.
Surprise.
The prices tend to skyrocket when the movies are first announced, and then when the movie's actually out, they tend to drop and sales stagnate.
Okay.
Because the people who wanted it already have it by the time the movie hits.
How about Star Wars too? Have you noticed a huge increase in the last couple weeks?
It was last year. So far in the past couple months, I haven't. I'm almost thinking that there's an oversaturation in the market right now between all of the commercials, the TV shows. I mean, you can't even walk into a Cracker Barrel without seeing Star Wars merchandise on their counters. Star Wars merchandise is everywhere right now. Every single store you
What's the biggest difference between like a fair comic and like a very good comic as far as like when you're grading it?
Well, a very good would still have a complete cover.
Okay.
You know, fair is normally it's missing half the back cover, or the cover is split in half, but still there. You know, and of course, paper condition plays into that too. You know, Overstreet has a grading guide that shows you the variations. And myself, I feel that where you have a complete book and you have positives and negatives, you have to kind of average those out to come up with a fair evaluation of the book. You can't just say, oh, I got to use the negatives only.
Yeah.
You should be able to use your positives. And of course, a lot of people are into the graded comics, and myself, I only feel that grading a comic certifies the condition. It does not change the value of the comic.
Gotcha.
Some people feel it does. To each his own. To me, that just gives me a representative idea of the condition, and that helps me decide what I would be willing to pay for that book.
You don't agree with the?
No, I don't. And that's just me. I object to anything being. It's one thing. See, that whole thing of the grading started in baseball cards, and that's fine because you can see baseball cards on either side. That's all you need to see, and it protects it, and that's fine. I'm all for protecting the stuff. But when you see a book and say, okay, it's this grade, and you can't read it, but if you take it out, you have to go get it graded again. That sounds like a scam to me.
Yeah. Hold that.
I've sold, I've been doing this a long time. I've sold Fantastic Four 1 for, 5,000, a Spidey 1 for 4,000 or 5,000. I've sold books like that, and First Legion of Superheroes way back, I've had expensive books when I just did comics. Back in the 70s, 80s, and 90s, I did pretty much just comics, and now I do a little bit of everything. And so you sell a lot more $100 or $50 books than you do $1,000 books. And yeah, I'd love to have those things, but anymore, you just can't get them because everybody's a dealer now. Everybody gets on eBay and everybody has all the books, and it's kind of hard to come across them anymore to buy them at a rate that you can resell them for.
Yeah.
With the superhero movies and all that brings a lot of attention, but it also makes it harder to get some of this stuff.
I sold, I had a shop for 10 years, sold at conventions for another 5 after the shop closed, and more or less fell into the anime manga market, but it's a niche within a niche, and it's better to be something that everybody comes to for one thing rather than one of 1,000 people doing the same thing.
Yeah.
So we don't get as many customers. I don't expect crowds, but what the people I do get are really happy with what they see. And that's kind of what I'm looking for. I'm not looking for massive sales. Though we do have probably the best variety. It's just providing a service that makes others happy and makes me at least the minimum of profit.